have a half step at the end, and which gets me back to C. Your first and your last note should always match. Okay? If you get to the end of some of these exercises and your first and last note don't match, somewhere you screwed up along the way. The first and last note should always match. 2 holes and a half, 3 holes and a half. Okay? Now, as you go through different notes, you need to edit the sharps and flats. You need to adjust those sharps and flats in order to make the pattern work out right. Okay? So we can get the pattern of half steps and whole steps to make a major scale. Now, when you're spelling scales, all of the notes need to be consecutive. What do I mean by that? You can't jump from a C sharp to an E. I got to have a note in between. It has to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I can't jump from a C, no matter whether it's a C sharp, to an E flat. It doesn't, in music theory, that doesn't work. You can't do that. I have to go from some kind of a C, no matter how bad I have to sharp or flat it, to some kind of a D, no matter how much I have to sharpen and flat it in order for it to work. Okay? Let's try a couple of one. Let's try a scale that is going to include some sharps or flats in it. Let's try an F scale. Okay? We're going to do an F major scale. You just think with me. We start on an F, then we need a whole step. Whole step up from an F is a G. Then we need another whole step. Whole step up from a G is an A. Now I need a half step. Here's the trick. An A to a B is a whole step, so I've got to squeeze that B down a half step to get it to work out in our pattern right. Whole, whole, half. So it would be F, G, A, and now B flat. Okay, now I need to go a whole step up, but I'm going a whole step up from a B flat. So that would be C. If a B to a C is just a half step, a B flat to a C now would be a whole step. Then a whole step up from a C is a D, whole step up from a D is an E. Now I'm back to half step, E to an F. My first and last notes match. I've got an F major scale. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Okay? There are many more exercises in your book to get you a lot of good practice on major scales. It's not just about spelling them once, it's about learning them. It's kind of like your multiplication tables. You're eventually going to have to learn all these scales. Now you may think, there's no way I could learn all these scales. It's not like there's 100 of them. There's only 12 different notes on your guitar before they start repeating. So there's only 12 different major scales. It's not an unknowable amount of information. It's actually a pretty relatively easy amount of information, but it is going to take more than just doing it once. So you need to do them over and over and over again. That's why we give you plenty of exercises to do that. Okay? So memorize which scales have which sharps and flats. That'll be a good place for you to start. Learning how to build scales is one of the most important things you can do for your musicianship. It may be a little technical right now, but it's going to start paying off when we start going beyond what the average guitar player can do. Most every guitar player that you run across can do C and G. Well, we're moving beyond C and G now. We're moving down to playing A flats and G flats and knowing what chords go with what. Okay? So if you're finding we're going a little bit past you, go back and review some of the earlier exercises, and we can get yourself up on those skills to now that we're building scales, we're ready to go. Let's talk about our assignment for this week, or for this session. Let's take a look at our assignment. Your assignment for this session is to practice saying and playing the notes on the 6th string, ascending and descending. Remember how we did that? E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And then I want you to say them and play them down. E, D, C, B. Play them all the way down. Memorize the 5 6-string bar forms that we talked about. F, F minor, F minor 7, F7, and F suspended. Okay? Do those fingering strengthening exercises if you're having problems getting the bars down to be strong enough. Okay? Try not to get any buzzes or missed notes. Okay? Play through the 6-string bar chord exercises in your book. Play through the song that we have in our book. And for our How Music Works section, fill out the major scale worksheets in the book using the major scale pattern that we talked about. That's a lot of material for this time, but I know you're going to get it. Keep working at it. I'll see you at the workshop time. Hi, welcome to Session 7, the workshop time. You ready to work out all the things we learned? Here we go. First thing we need to talk about is